would you do if you knew what the symbolism behind the April 8th solar eclipse occurring over Mexico, the United States, and Canada symbolized and predicted about the future of President Biden, Trump, Putin, Netanyahu, DeSantis, the Epstein files, the future of the United States of America, World War III, earthquakes, and immigration, and a lot more than that. Keep watching if you're interested. If not, carry on and be surprised by what we cover in this video when it happens. This will be quite the interview. My researcher about a month ago, Christina, who you guys might be familiar with the medical astrology video. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. She has been giving me messages about the future of the President of the United States, some of the things that we both have seen in the charts related to the eclipse this April 4th and its significance. This is a big one. This warns of global changes. And the one in Pisces and the one in Aries and Libra this year, these are speaking particularly in April of a downfall in particular. And so there's this energy of letting go of too much cognitive dissonance and codependence as it comes to relationships. You're probably feeling that on an individual level, but what does that mean for our allies and governments and the relationships that they used to have, particularly America? So big change is coming in the next 7 months. This eclipse is 4.5 minutes. So let's say each minute accounts for a year. We'll see effects over the next 4.5 years. And this will trigger things such as past wounds, not only on an individual level, but also for countries as well. So old conflicts with countries popping back up to the surface. And for those of you who are familiar with astrology, know the two malefic planets, malefic meaning harsh in their effects, Saturn and Mars are combining, they're meeting. In Vedic astrology, a conjunction or a combination of two planets could be considered a planetary war. So what happens when two of the harshest planets, the two malefics, combine and have a planetary war? This could bring challenges in dealing with collective problems. So we'll dive into some of the collective problems that could bring about. And then we have Jupiter and Uranus, Jupiter being what some of you may know as the great benefic, the planet of expansion and of wisdom, combining with the rebellious, youthful planet known as Uranus, which brings shakeups, earthquakes, building collapses, and rules things like technology, innovation, disruption, and is the higher octave of the zodiac sign known as Aquarius, which can bring about effects as the black sheep archetype, right? The energy of not fitting in or being the one that stands out awkwardly as it relates to the group. So what will Jupiter expand as it relates to those archetypes? Will we see collapses? Will we see earthquakes? Will we see the expansion of technical related things like stocks and crypto and AI? Grab those reports. Check out my newsletter if you haven't, because it's chock full of answers related to that, especially the last video with the financial predictions related to Bitcoin. And then things related to new beginnings and healing from childhood wounds. There's so much that these eclipses are going to touch on. America is going through so much changes. Pluto's entry into Aquarius, the age of the Aquarius, age beginning, all that's shifting with AI, wars, so much is changing. And Christina, my researcher, is here to share it all with you, break it all down. And here we go. Christina, how you doing?
Good. Thank you so much for having me again.
Just a quick note before we drop in. I did try to help Christina break things down at a beginner level for those of you who are new to the channel. But if we missed the mark on that, if you have any questions, just put your comments down below. She will be checking and we'll get back to you. This was filmed and edited during a Mercury retrograde you'll be able to tell by how ridiculous the captions are. So if anything's confusing, just put it down there and she'll get back to you.
I hope I'm not going to cough, guys, because I get a little bit of respiratory issue. Yes, we are here today to analyze the chart, actually, because of Israel and America, Ukraine, Russia, everything, because of as above, so below. So whenever I built up my videos and my talks, I have to tell you, like everything is built up in duality. So it's obvious, like somebody not necessarily going to like this topic because it could be really heavy, but we always can, and we always able to find a silver lining over here. So we're going to analyze multiple dictators or politic men's chart and also multiple countries. You have to know right now, because we have the eclipse, what you were talking about, and this is the Aries and Libra eclipse, right? The war against peace.
If I may jump in really quickly, which I might do, not to interrupt you.
Okay.
Well, to interrupt you, but I might do it because, as you said, you do have a cold and you have an accent naturally. So it just might be helpful if I jump in here and there. And it's a point that you mentioned about duality consciousness, right? Because that's what the ego does. The ego is attracted to that which feels good, whether it's I want to be a good boy or good girl in front of mommy and daddy from a young age to I like the way this food tastes, but I don't like the way that food tastes. And we end up with health issues, whatever it is, right? That's just the minds that we're all dealing with. So it's important that Christina broke that down because we are going into a topic that is probably tilted towards the more harsher negative side of the duality. So it's going to take a little bit of level of maturity to continue down this conversation with us. And if you're not prepared for that, if you're not in the state to dive into that, if you wanted something to cheer you up during a lunch break, if that's what this YouTube video was for, maybe you want to put this on your watch later and come back because
yes,
we need to be mature right now. Please
obviously.
Continue.
So, the we against the me. Aries is the me, and the eclipse actually April 8th going to happen in Aries. So that is considering a lot of selfish action during this Aries eclipse, right? And Libra eclipse is usually about peace because Libra rules the peace. However, what is very, very important to know, and like I'm going to try to organize my thoughts, but you have to know the foremost malefic sign, or not malefic, but we call it like aggressive, or yes, malefic sign, that is actually Aquarius, Libra. You would be surprised. When I first learned this, I was like absolutely out of control, like how come a Venus ruled sign could be, like evil or malefic. And then the other is Scorpio, and what is the fourth one? Do you remember? So we have Libra, Scorpio, and Aries. Yes. Yes. Yeah, Mars rules. And this eclipse going to be ruled by Mars. And what is very important, it's going to happen April 8th, but April 10th, we're going to have the general and the soldier, Saturn and Mars, conjunct. Conjunction in astrology, actually in tropical, we say like not in Vedic, it could go either way. So it could be really good if it's not malefic planet. Unfortunately, if it's too malefic planet, then most of the time it's going to turn out to be negative. So yes, I do love predictive astrology. I really like to do researches and how is it working out. And we would like to know actually your opinion, guys, over here, the comment below, what did you learn? If you checked any of the dictators or any of the politic men's, chart, and what do you think about, in general, the world and the election and how is it going to turn out? And you mentioned that, Sama, before, Uranus and Jupiter conjunction. Jupiter is benefit. Uranus could either way. Uranus is definitely rules humanitarian and non-profit projects as well. So it could be really good for non-profits. We can hold hands together and help others. So yes, it could be really good. It could be amazing, like, first of all, AI could take over, which is scary, but we can heal Alzheimer, ALS, dementia. So there is opportunity. We can have some kind of technology and put that in the brain and everybody going to be smarter, which would be amazing because
Oh,
of,
it's already here. Elon and the Neuralink. I'll drop a little
yes,
clip in the
yes.
video actually. But yeah, that's already here.
And you know, a lot of people scared about that, and I'm not because of, I have to tell you, we did a research with my son. He's only 14, but he's like, Mom, did you know 70% of American people are subnormal? Their IQ is between 80 and 100. And I was like, oh my God, what? And then I checked and I was like,
Thanks a
whoa.
lot.
And what about the world? And then
Oh yeah.
90% and so many illiterate, and you know, and then I was like, oh, all right, so yes, we need something where they can actually, you know, like start to really think, people, and become more intelligent, but
I
we're
saw
gonna
an
have,
article, I think it was yesterday, about AI teaching kids how to read, and I think it's like working well or something like that. But I'm not, to your point, these things are tools, and so
tools.
it's like the gun argument, right? Or
Mm,
any of these
yeah,
arguments. These are tools.
exactly.
Or a knife. You can use it to cook or to cut someone. So we'll see how the humans use the tools. But
Very important, but unfortunately, if it's going to the hand of unprepared, you know, like then it could damage everything. So that's the point over here. But I really, you know, and plus it could segregate us, and you know, like everything is
it already
online
has.
already.
It
Yeah,
already
it
has.
already has.
Yes.
So it could have a downfall, but yes, definitely. And actually, I'm gonna start with America and Biden, okay? Because we both live in America, and we both live under this administration right now. Okay, share. And I just wanted to show that to everyone over here. You see that right now.
Yes.
So this is the map of the election of 2024. And what is very important, we're going to have the Russian Federation, we're going to have the United States, Mexico, El Salvador, right? Venezuela, El Salvador, we're going to have South Africa, India, and you know, here Pakistan, here the Islamic Iran, and there is multiple, Mongolia, Indonesia, a lot of countries going to have election, and you know, like we have England, Iceland. So I just wanted to show the map. Why is it so important? We are co-woven, and you know, we are actually interact with each other's life, and that is the map. It's over 4 million people it's going to
That's a
actually
lot.
affect.
Mm.
It's a lot. It is a lot.
Yeah. The
So
visual helps. It really puts it in perspective. Mm.
absolutely. And then I'm going to show that over here. And here is Biden. And then you see right now?
Yes. Now I see the chart. Yeah.
Okay, here is his chart. And you
Mhm.
know, actually, we had the eclipse in Scorpio and Taurus last year, and his mental state declined a lot last year already. He's already old, right? So right now they only mention two people in the news, in the media, if you see CNN or Fox, but I always read the 1440 because that's an independent news, and you know, you have a lot of knowledge and real knowledge, and the truth is over there. So look at Biden chart. He has a Scorpio sun, and look at the 12 house planets over here. And then we had the eclipse in November on
So this
his,
is an actual, so the 12th house, for those who aren't familiar, is like the place of going away. And so a lot of
yeah,
what we'll see when the 12th house is activated is maybe someone goes on a vacation or maybe things get lost, right? It is also considered the house of losses, or how we can, let's say, undo ourselves, right? How we can kind of get in our own way or run into blind spots. It's a place of rest. It represents sleep and represents things like bedrooms, vacations, hotels, spiritual retreat,
underprivileged,
the
underprivileged,
underprivileged. It's
and
correlated
also,
by
yeah,
Pisces. Yeah. And so why I mention all of this is it's a good example of Biden's behavior. It's a man that you don't see a lot. In 2020, a lot of the running joke was he's winning from his basement. Where is the guy? Why isn't he campaigning? He's not very visible. And Scorpio itself represents when it's quite literally when you're driving and the sun is setting and the sun is in your eyes and you can barely see, and maybe you need to put on sunglasses because you don't want to hit something. That is the eighth house. That is Scorpio. That's the time of the day of Scorpio. And so there are things that you don't see clearly when it comes to scorpionic energy. So there's a double significance of there being things that we don't see clearly related to this man. Please continue.
Yes, definitely. And you see, he has a yod actually over here, finger of God, which is the apex point is the moon. And the moon also represents the people in mundane astrology as well. But the eclipse happened actually last November in his moon because it was 5 degrees Taurus. So actually it's eclipsing out his head. And because it is also across, and in Vedic astrology, it's enough if it is just the sign across each other's, the axis is there, it's already bringing in the energy. And by the way, the 12th house also jail and prison and hospice and hospital. So because of the eclipse happened November, and you know, the eclipse is actually not going to happen exactly on the same day. It is a year and a half until the whole entire south node, north node moving away, and the eclipse happened here. So it is at least half year more to unfold the story for Biden. Yes. And right now it's gonna happen in his 5th house over here. And the 4th house is funerals and endings, and Mars and Saturn, because he is a Sagittarius rising, going to conjunct in his 4th house. So that is very significant for his health.
What degree do you know?
12.
12. Okay. 12.
So that's the second decan. So it's going to actually bring a Cancerian decan, which is ruled by the moon, and his moon already was afflicted by the eclipse. So his health is really, really going down. And I always said he's not going to be capable to go for the full term. Maybe he's going to get in hospice just a week before the election, but he will not be there by the time of the election. Biden's sun is really going down, you know, and plus we have a full moon in April 23rd, after the Uranus conjunction, Uranus-Jupiter conjunction is in his 12th house. And let me see, I have it here. The full moon is happening in 4 degrees. So actually it's right across his
4
moon.
degrees.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. So, all right. Interesting.
Hitting his moon, hitting exactly the place where was the eclipse prior. So there you go. There is a major significant downfall for him. Plus, look at Uranus, Jupiter.
That's 4 degrees. That's 4 degrees in Scorpio, or where?
4 degrees Scorpio, the full moon, 23rd of April.
So his ascendant is at 4. And so in terms of parallel, I wonder if that's, okay, that's interesting.
Hospitalization. Cognitive functions are down. The moon, emotional disturbance also. And you know, the moon is also affected by Pluto. Look at that. Pluto actually, first of all, he does have a Pluto opposition, bad. Plus, he has Pluto moon square. So I'm wondering also, he might have something to happen with the wife. With the significant other, and it could take him out because he had a lot of loss already. He lost 2 children and previous wives in a car accident. So it could totally diminish this guy, and you know, he's out. But his health is really, really significantly down, Pluto, moon. And by the way, guys, we are doing prediction, nobody wishing anything wrongful or evil or anyone. I really want to state this because many times we are getting actually, you know, slammed and throw stone on us, you know, like, how dare you to say that this is a chart and we analyzing it. We don't wish upon Trump, Biden, Kennedy, anything, okay? We are just analyzing. Okay,
We
so
don't
you
have
see
that
that.
power.
No, we
We,
don't.
this is beyond us. We're reading symbols here, and
Yes, we're reading symbols.
the symbols have meanings, and that is why Christina is bringing up that this could affect the wife because the moon is a significator of that, right? This
Yes.
is not a guarantee. This is an explanation of what he may experience. The moon also represents his needs and his mental state and his unconscious foundations and needs of security. So all of that is being shaken. His wife could be that. His mental state, as we know,
Yeah.
could be that. Something else could affect it. The fact that he's
Or
president of the most powerful country in the world could be affecting his mental state at that time due to Pluto, something transformational happening in Aquarius due to AI, which is in what you would call Vedic astrology and Upachaya. It's a difficult house. So something
Mhm.
difficult locally or related to his peers, like China, which is an Aquarian nation, could be affecting his mental state. There's a lot of different ways this could play out. Okay. So again, like I said in previous videos, look at this as entertainment, look at it as education. You pick, I don't care. This is to share and to inspire and to inform. That's it. Please continue.
yeah. So yes, Pluto is affected. By the way, his dog can die also, and he's really fond of his dog because the moon represents dogs. In the sixth house of small animals, Pluto over here, it could be an other, interpretation over here. But you see, look at that. America actually in his so Biden is Sagittarius rising, so as America, and so as Netanyahu as well. But here, America, right now, the asteroid America in his second house, and Pluto going to go back in October, November, actually September, middle of September already, till middle of November in the second house over here with this Pluto return. The America asteroid and Israel asteroid is here in the second house of Biden, and the second house representing finances. All right. And it is across Pluto going to across his Jupiter. So actually it's representing like because of he was supporting Ukraine, Israel with billions of dollars, America going to suffer financially out from that. So that's the
You're
asteroid.
kidding me. Are you
No.
serious?
Li- li-
I'm being sarcastic.
Yes, I know, I know, I know. So, because it's in
But you
Capricorn,
can
and
see it in the
Capricorn,
charts. It's important
yes,
for people to see this, right? It's
yes.
not a joke.
No, it's not a joke. And because it's in Capricorn, Capricorn ruled by Saturn, it's delays, it's censorship.
Yeah.
Censorship of American money, second
Yeah.
house is money, or
Mhm.
values, censorship of American values because of him still being
Yeah.
there and
Yeah.
not capable to comprehend, and that's it. So this is Biden chart, and Biden is really like, listen, Saturn Mars in the fourth house already if somebody is old, but Pluto moon square and the eclipse happened here and the full moon going to be across his moon, it is taking him out the next 2-3 months. We will see, but
Mhm.
truly I believe it's going to be there. Okay, let me bring up another chart because it's enough talking, and plus Uranus here also, Jupiter conjunction in the sixth house of health, something with tremor, something neurological. Uranus is neurology. So it could be anything to do, and it's exploding. So yeah, it could be. All
Mhm.
right, let's see another chart over here. Let's go Trump, okay? Because they talk about the two. You share,
Yeah,
and we're gonna go
that could
Trump.
speak
Okay.
to some kind of nerve damage or some neurological rupture, some kind of
Uh-huh.
brain injury.
Like because of nerve damage, definitely, but because he does have some kind of dementia, and
Mhm.
Uranus is the crown chakra. Uranus does the cognitive knowledge. So, that is the higher octave of Mercury.
Mhm.
Obviously, that it's going to be some kind of, and he can get a stroke.
Yeah,
And,
Taurus is not quite the head, but it's like the face, it's the voice. There's still a lot of nerves still connected to the brain around the neck, right? It's
yes, it's here,
still being,
the small brain. And here the job, because of Taurus usually here, but for example, if he falls, because he always trips, so he falls, he could have a neurological damage like that. Yeah, definitely.
The back of his head or something. Yeah.
All right. Do you see Trump?
Yes, see Trump.
All right. Let's see Trump over here. Okay. So Trump is a Leo rising. He likes to be center of attention. Like there you go. He has Pluto, Mars. You see, a lot of politicians, you will see Putin and you will see Netanyahu, and as well, a lot of them has actually Pluto, Mars. The two evil, which is rule Scorpio. So there has to be something evil inside. And I'm not saying, all politicians are evil or only Trump has tendencies like that. Most of them.
I'll say this, it's encountering evil. They have to deal with it, whatever side they're on is whatever side they're on. But they face it. They have to deal with it.
So obviously, yes, they have to encounter that. And so as it is, we all trying to find silver lining as above, so below. We all are capable to have the angel and the devil here, and we all capable for both. Really. So, all right. No judgment here. I'm saying Pluto, Mars in the first house. All right. Very dynamic, very transformative energy, powerful, very powerful because he has not followers, actually, he has a cult. And Pluto is obsession, and Pluto represents cults, and his followers are almost like cult-likes, no matter what. And because of he has a Leo rising, he has the it. For example, if you have seen the debate, he didn't even have to debate just before, but if you saw DeSantis doesn't have the it. He's just incapable. He's a smart, very, very smart, I would say very educated person, Yale and whatever, and we're going to see his chart, but he doesn't have that kind around him. And look at here.
So say that again. You said he doesn't have that kind of what? My connection dropped. It's all right.
So actually, DeSantis doesn't have the it. People doesn't want to follow him. People are not. Trump has a cult-like followers. Trump has the it. Trump's like to be sent. Look at the man. During the 4 years, that man did not age. Every single politician, wherever you go, they age. This man, absolutely not. He has a Gemini sun. He's like a baby. He's like, he's not aging, this man at all.
He has a Rahu Sun conjunction as well. It's a very powerful.
Very powerful. Yes, look at that over here in the 11th house of social events.
America is conjunct his ascendant even too.
Yes.
Look at that.
Yes, America. And the ascendant 29 degrees on Regulus.
Exactly.
No matter what, this man not gonna run out from money, even if they're going to take, because people are willing to give him. He asks for it, he will get.
Yeah,
so he will bounce
Vedic
back.
astrology, the constellation behind that is known as the king's throne. And so there's a legacy of wealth that is given to nations that have that constellation, which he comes from wealth.
The royal star, yes, he is coming from that. He got $1 million just to start when he was 19, whatever, 20, like 100 years ago, not 100, but okay. So look at that. So he has a Leo ascendant, but downfall, there you go. Saturn, Mars in the 8th house, conjuncting. Something hidden, something what he doesn't see coming against him. And I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. So do you remember, guys, when...
So what degree is this conjunction happening?
12 degrees.
That's within a 2 degree or... No, it's not. Never mind. Continue. I thought it was within this Pluto, but it's not.
No. Well, Pluto is in 10 degrees.
But it's not.
But it's not. It's only King Kong. So it's, So what's happening over here? Saturn, Mars, first of all, he might going to need a surgery. 8th house is not only death, tax. right now he has to pay his debt because it was representing debt as well. So he will have to hire people. Saturn is someone an authority figure to be hired to fight for him, Mars, right? But also in Pisces, Pisces is prison. Pisces is prison. It's jail time,
Yeah,
because of
that
some
would be
kind of
good
tax
right now.
situation, and eighth house
Well, it's
representing
not. It
success.
doesn't. It doesn't even have to. Okay, so I haven't been following because I don't follow news much. If it's really news, I'm going to hear about it, right? So I don't need to see all these notifications. That's just how I live. And I have heard that he has been basically being kept in court and all this legal stuff so that he can't really campaign or run. So what could the implications of his current situation be with this conjunction? Could that mean that there is jail time because of a debt or something? Or is he in trouble because of debt? Do you know? Or what is he dealing with?
Yes, he is in trouble because of that, and he has to pay right now. They decreased his fines from 496 million to 175 million. Okay, that's the decrease of his debt. However, all right. Yes, it could mean jail time or it could mean surgery over here, tax, anything like that. It is something hidden coming against him. And that is very important, I wanted to say.
So will
If you
he be
don't,
able to run or will he be behind bars? Okay,
Trump
keep
going to
going.
be even capable to go from behind bars. Because look at that, Saturn is going to trine with his Saturn. He has 12th house Cancer with three planets stellium in the 12th house. So he might have to be in house arrest because
Ah,
the
Cancer.
Cancer is
Oh,
house
mm.
arrest. So he's still capable to do and navigate out from there. But what is very important, and I really want to make a point over here, he threatened DeSantis. He said, I made you, don't go against me and don't run for presidency. DeSantis did anyway. DeSantis is a very educated man, law school in Yale and what is the other one in Boston?
Boston University or Harvard?
Harvard and Yale. Okay, so he is that. But DeSantis just said, and I was watching the news, in July 4th, I'm going to release all the Epstein file, and you will be surprised. And finally, the powerful people going to be behind bar. So DeSantis is scared if Trump, God forbid, if Trump wins, DeSantis is out because Trump threatened, if I win and you run against me, you out. So the last kick of DeSantis is
So
Florida.
let me make sure I heard you right. Who's releasing what this summer?
DeSantis,
DeSantis? He has
yes,
information
because
on Epstein?
DeSantis has all the information. He's the governor of Florida. He handles everything. He can release everything.
Okay.
So if he wants to keep the governor seat
Mm,
and he's scared of Trump,
mm,
then he will release. And actually, it houses sex trafficking and
mm.
its sexuality and Hades, hidden things, Saturn, the general and the soldier, Mars. Somebody is releasing something against me. It's coming to surface, right? So it could be one of the implication of like he is actually going to be in trouble because of in summer DeSantis going to spread everything out, and we the collective, we the people, the general public are capable to learn about every single politician and famous P. Diddy, come on. And then,
Yeah. I
whoever
might make
they
a video
run.
about that actually, because Pisces roots film and music, and this
Yes,
connection is happening in Pisces, and you see what's happening with him. So all
yes,
of this is particularly in entertainment. It's an interesting statement that Cat Williams made about this being a year of exposal, and so we will see. more
Yeah,
coming.
that's gonna be a lot of from the film and entertainment because of Pisces is not only music but film industry.
Yep.
Plus, Saturn
Entertain.
Mars actually could be a lot of overdose of rich and famous people.
Mm,
It sees their life because of their, or actually sex traffic, anything like hidden matters, because Pisces bedroom as well. So
mm,
it could be trafficking. So they're going to be exposed finally. So yes, that's definitely you should do a video about that because that's happening right now.
yeah.
So that is Trump over here. So Trump also, but look at that. He has Jupiter, Uranus on his midheaven, for goodness sake. He actually, this is good because of people are going to
That's nice. Yeah.
social unrest everywhere, right? Because it's gonna be everywhere around the world, and people going to make a huge protest if he would be under arrest, or
Yeah.
if they do anything against. That's gonna be because look, and the midheaven for him is on Argol.
Mm, mm,
Come
mm.
on. Uranus and Jupiter over there on the midheaven, people are willing to actually keep him alive, his legacy, keep
Yeah.
to fight for him. It's gonna be a lot of unrest, social
Like
unrest because of him.
it could be a mirror of what we supposedly saw a couple of years ago, in which
Mhm.
people are willing to risk or sacrifice in order
Yep,
to Uranus break him free
yep,
in this instance. You know,
absolutely.
Algol,
Yeah.
the Pleiades, it can be people who suffer depending on how it's impacted on behalf of the native or maybe the native. And in this case, it could be people willing to, go to jail or lose their
Yeah.
flight privileges or, whatever it might be in order to keep the man doing what he's doing.
But look at that America and ascendant. So you said it's actually conjuncting. And what is his downfall? This is power, 10th house is political power.
Mm.
Uranus and Jupiter unexpected. It could go either way, but it is
Either way,
squaring his
it's
ascendant and
squaring.
America.
It is a
So
square.
that is a downfall over there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they are willing to fight for him. Plus, because of
And
I
so
see
what
that,
that means, by the way, is that whether he is broken free or not, it's affecting America in a challenging way.
yes,
Whatever the outcome is, it's challenging the nation.
challenging the nation because of him.
Yeah.
Yes, that's there. But I am telling you, Saturn and Mars gonna be, DeSantis gonna come out with something. Okay, let me see the other people over here. So you know what? Kennedy. Let me see DeSantis just for a second because
Yeah,
I
go to
already
DeSantis. You talked about him, so it's a
yeah,
natural.
I already talked about DeSantis. So here it is a new share. So here is DeSantis. DeSantis chart is ratified by me right now.
Okay.
And because of, we don't know, I did with Chris Bernan, I did the ratification, and I did with Nadia Shah as well. But with Chris, it's like a 45-hour course, and it was very deep. Okay, so here is the thing why I think that, because as I said, he has Yale and he has Harvard. Jupiter is law over here in Leo, right? So that's Yale and Harvard. He's very educated.
Mm.
And he became, plus because he went to the Marine and he became really powerful, I put Libra in the 12th house for him because Pluto, Mars also in 12th house. He went to Marine and he became a leader over there, right? He was a soldier, but after that he became a leader in the Marine. And because of there is Saturn, Mercury, Sun in Virgo, he going to be affected with this Saturn opposition right now badly. Plus Saturn gonna oppose his Sun also. So this man also going to have some kind of health issues, and he's going to lose supporters, and he might going to lose like communities actually because of the Saturn opposition for him. Plus Saturn Mars is going to be 12 degrees in his 5th house, going against his Mercury Saturn over here. Yes, it could affect actually he not gonna be welcomed in community, especially if he release something about Trump.
Mm.
If he does that to keep,
Mm.
that's what I was wanted to talk about,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
to keep his governor position, then the high society who were welcoming him, they're going to push him out.
Yeah.
And I put him in Scorpio ascendant because of a lot of them have Scorpio ascendant, Putin also. And yeah, definitely I would see that. So I ratify the chart here. He does have, he's very also, because of the moon in the fourth house, is a very patriot guy. And DeSantis is really deeply patriotic. So I would say, like, he likes motherland, he likes, America, he likes, so that is.
And it's
However,
kind of obvious to say, but this chart, it doesn't have the star power that
no,
chart does. It's not even close.
no, doesn't have it. Plus, you see Russia and the moon conjunct for him, yes, and trying to Pluto. And actually, Putin is Pluto ruled also, just like him in the Mars and Pluto ruled. So in the future, he might going to have some connection with Russia to save his neck, whatever, save himself. Yeah. So there I see some kind of...
it might not be a bad relationship with China either,
Yeah, in the third house, a good, He had so far.
I mean, with the moon in Aquarius, maybe just the people of China. I don't know how relevant the opinion of the people of China is, but that aspect of Pluto is interesting.
Well, people in general is very important because people must know if they.
Well, I say I don't know how important because it's a communist nation. Yes, please continue. You're correct.
Yeah. No, but I'm wondering, like, if we are capable to stand up with Pluto in Aquarius right now.
Absolutely. 100.
Yes. Yeah. So that's what it is. So you see, that is DeSantis over here. So that's why I truly believe. And you see, Chiron and Israel, seventh house of alliances, he doesn't want to support Israel. You can't even make up things. Astrology is literal. He doesn't want to support Israel.
It opposes them directly.
Absolutely. And opposing it directly with the ascendant as well. So he is like out. I would never.
And he has a Uranus conjunction to his ascendant. So there's some unpredictability here. He might go ahead and just release some documents. He just might wake up one morning and go, F it.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Here we go, because he gets threatened. Seventh house is, mediation. Seventh house is legal matters. Uranus is like, quick.
And it's with him in the first house.
And law, Jupiter is because it was something with the law system, and I'm releasing it. Yes, so that's definitely there. All right, let's see Kennedy, because we talk about the US election first. And I'm going to go very quickly about the countries, because we just have to see and put it together. Okay, Kennedy is here. Let's share Kennedy. So a lot of people and other countries like Hungary, my mother doesn't know about Kennedy.
Question for you, is this rectified or is this clean?
No. This is well accurate as much as,
As they report. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Sure.
His birth report. All right. Capricorn, look at that Capricorn stellium, born to be a leader. You see, he published a lot of books, high education. This man is a genius, I'm telling you. He has so much knowledge. He is just like a really, really believably smart person. All right. He has a Cancer moon, which is like the heart and the head and, like navigating between. He's torn apart many, many times. He has a Taurus ascendant, so he likes luxury and comfort, definitely. Israel, close to his ascendant, and I saw the Joe Rogan and Kennedy podcast, and actually he said, that's not that easy, because Israel is, yes, it's a created state, but somehow we have to try to make peace, and he did not actually oppose against supporting Israel. He was like trying to find the balance, yes, support the Palestinian and try to make peace and get back and give back the area and, become humanitarian, so whatever, but he did not oppose to give money to the war for Israel. So here, and it shows totally. But you see, he has Mars and Saturn. So politician always going to have the warrior somehow, either with Pluto or Saturn. He has it with Saturn, which is better because Saturn at least is diligent, not Pluto, right? Pluto could be very evil. And you will see a lot of them. Netanyahu has Pluto, Mars. Trump had Pluto, Mars. Like, come on, that could be evil. But here with Saturn, even if it is in Scorpio, it is more structured. He's thinking. He doesn't do, anything without structuring and thinking. And I like that. So, yeah. Okay, so what's going to happen with the eclipses? The eclipse going to happen in his 12th house. Unfortunately, this whole dynasty had a very, very, very bad karma. Everybody get killed, accidents, suicide, terrible. Eclipse going to happen 19 degrees and in 12th house, he is asking for protection like everyone else does, and he doesn't get it. Biden refused to give him protection. He got twice already in his home attacked by Trumpers, actually. And they almost, so it went physical. They had gun, they had knife. It could actually bring in some kind of unpredictable attack because the eclipse happened in Aries ruled by Mars. We also have Mars and Saturn conjunction in Pisces, unseen from somewhere which is a social circle event where he's talking. So there could be, unfortunately, the next half year coming up some kind of shooting or whatever it is because of Mars' shot, or even knife, because Saturn and Mars together, it's something concrete. It could be like a hard metal, so it's not just the bullet, but it could be some kind of knife, but it could be unexpectedly in half a year someone will attack him. So I'm not necessarily he will pass. I don't see that. So at least I see positive outcome. So he might get afflicted, unfortunate attack here, which is the family karma. But I don't see him to pass from this because you see, he doesn't have anything over here in the 8th house. He's gonna have a Jupiter return by the time when is the election.
Interesting.
2nd house, yes. So, it could be really good. Pluto also going back by the election, it's still going to be 29 degrees in the 9th house, but 9th house is publicity. So he's going to get more and more publicity from podcast. And very surprising, neither Biden, because he is absolutely incompetent right now, because he just has no brain, and Trump has no vocabulary whatsoever also, so they don't debate. He has a card, but don't debate, right? What about the podcast, like Valuetainment? What about, Joe Rogan? Rogan has 17 million followers. Rogan is very influential. Rogan was Democratic.
He gets more views than any of these old TV shows we used to watch during the Pluto and Capricorn era, right? So, yeah.
Rogan is Switzerland.
He gets the eyeballs. Yeah.
Rogan very smart. He is not really taking, when he has to speak up, he will. I know, I just saw the podcast and he was very angry about the situation. Somebody was defending Israel and he said, but let's talk about that. This is a genocide. Come on. And I heard him, a few times. Usually he's playing Switzerland. And right now I see another one when said, the movies right now transcribed to English. So they saw Hitler to talk and they translated in English. And the way Hitler was talking, he compared it with Trump and he said, holy moly, this is exactly like Trump. The way he talks, Hitler talked and everything that is exactly like Trump. So they can have a code because they have that kind of magical whatever inside. People are going to follow them for some reason. They attracted to these men, to these dictators.
So okay. I'll bring up something about that. That's very interesting to note is that Hitler's time period was when Uranus was located where?
I can check it.
It was when Uranus was in Taurus. Where
Oh,
where's Uranus
41.
now? Where's Uranus now? Uranus
Yes,
is in Taurus. And that is the same time period where there were issues with currencies. So
yes,
Hitler's country was suppressed after World War One, and there were a whole bunch of people who were
yes,
frustrated that their homeland was no longer prosperous. They didn't have food to eat, they didn't have jobs. So
yes,
Hitler was the man who spoke to that and became beloved by people whom Hitler was pointing to and saying, this is part of why we're having these issues, and I'm going to put things in place to solve them. And so he's the man who promoted companies like Volkswagen, who are still today, and re-revolutionized that country to be powerful. So part of what we're seeing repeating itself is Trump is a man who is loved by people who in America feel like they've lost what America used to be or what it should be for them. And so you might see, when Joe is comparing and seeing this video, like, oh, this is the same. A lot of that has to do with people feeling the same and someone
yes.
rising who will speak to the issues of those people for better or worse. For better or worse.
For better,
I'm not making a
absolutely.
political statement. I'm
No?
saying these cycles repeat.
Yeah.
There's nothing new under the sun. That's a saying for a reason. And so here we are again at a time where currencies are collapsing, people are frustrated, and the people who can speak to that are likely the ones going to be elected or promoted by the people who are frustrated. And that is why during that time period, that was known as the time period of dictators, because all these politicians who just want to push papers around and yap, 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 people get frustrated and they will just pick a brute who, for better or worse, will just move a country forward. And so that's what we
Yes.
saw then. We might see something similar now. I'm not making a particular prediction. That's what Christina is here for. But I wanted to share that piece of it.
No, but you are right, because 1941, when Uranus and Jupiter conjuncted in Taurus, exactly when Hitler was rising. So that is, and we were talking about that before. Anyway, this is the time for dictatorism. Look around. Everywhere, Korea, Russia, like everywhere, actually, Israel, that is dictatorism. So dictators are rising, but there is gonna be a downfall of that, obviously, because it's not gonna stay the same. But yes, that's definitely that. And people want to do not traditional anymore. They want to do something innovative, something new. So they don't even care what is the new. They just want desperately a change, and that's why they rather to go with the new because of like they need change. And Uranus represents change, and big change is over here. And yes, so that is over here. That is Kennedy. So I actually, when I checked the Jupiter return for him in the second house of values, he has a Taurus rising. He had Jupiter and Uranus junction here. And, that is actually going to sextile with his own Uranus. And it also going to, let me see, with his Capricornian energy and midheaven. So I would say he is in a very, very surprisingly good place, and it could turn his future over, especially after an attack. People going to be more considerate, more talking out. And yes, actually, it could bring him a lot of not only fame, but opportunity to surprisingly win this election. But I said in 2020, I don't know if you remember the class, in Victor's class, I said, political things going to change. It's going to be like combined together, either Democrat, Republican together, they're going to be elected and they, like whatever, or it could be like someone who integrate the two values of Democrat and Republican, and that is Kennedy. But it could be like asked by Trump, because I don't know if you looked at the news, but Trump first asked Kennedy to be the VP. Kennedy said no. And then
That's interesting.
and then asked the Indian guy, Vitek. And he said yes. So that's what's happening. Integrate the two things together, finding silver lining. I love the fact Elon Musk is totally Kennedy. Joe Rogan is totally Kennedy. Valuetainment. They are going to Trump also, but this podcast has a lot of followers. Russell, Russia brand, totally Kennedy. So there is a lot of people actually who are willing to put out good words over here, and they know we have to actually change, climate is an issue over here. Immigration is an issue, and actually Kennedy is the one. Big Pharma is an issue, and he's willing to go against Big Pharma. He just actually published a book about Fauci. I didn't have time to read it yet, but I will. But, everything is done. Nobody's suing him because everything is true. So they cannot sue him for that book. So Kennedy over here has an amazing opportunity, surprisingly amazing, after an attack. I definitely think he will be attacked. Okay, so let's see. And by the way, I don't.
Question for you. So you're saying that he has a chance to win by surprise.
Yes.
We've looked at 4 charts. Whom do you, I imagine you've looked at November, December aspects for all 4. In your viewpoint, around that time period, whose chart seems to be most thrust into a presidential position around the 21st of January?
Very, very powerful was Kennedy's and Trump. Trump still had a powerful chart, yes. So that's why I was like, okay, Trump asked him to be the VP. He said no, because somehow it's really close to each other. However, I really believe DeSantis is going to put out somehow Trump. I really believe that. And, there is going to be something very surprising. And because of we have Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, people have to know the border of the country is going to change. So, for example, China gonna take Taiwan away. Russia gonna go and take part
that might happen this summer.
Yeah. Poland and anything, like a little bit of Ukraine, a little bit of here, that Russia gonna do that also. I don't see the United States of America by 2030 to be United States of America. It won't be. It's gonna be like 3 different countries somehow. So the borders are changing right now. And that's why I would say that might be the last election. And it's not going to be that, it's going to be...
So what is behind that prediction, right? So we have Taurus is an earth sign.
Yes,
and Uranus, planet of disruption, as I spoke about earlier, can actually manifest as earthquakes, right?
Yes.
So that can be a literal changing of borders and lands, right? But it doesn't have to be physical in terms of it being the actual land. It could be the written arbitrary borders that the human beings put there, right? So the land can change in that way. We have eclipses in Aries and Libra, which speak to partnerships and agreements, right?
And Pisces.
Legalities of these countries. So this is another thing, you guys, I've talked about this in my Climate Change Wars video. If you guys want to move, or you want to be citizens or have all those things, you want to take care of those things ASAP, because those rules are changing. If it's easy to get into one country now, it might not be so once these partnerships shift. What is it that you're seeing that's letting you know that, hey, the US might be looking 3 different ways, 2 different ways compared to how it is now? And there is also the Pluto return, but what are the things that you're seeing that lead you to that conclusion?
So first of all, Uranus is borders, Jupiter is expanding borders, or, changing borders. That is definitely the next 14 years, because that is a synodic cycle over here.
Yes, the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction is a 14-year cycle. Yes. Continue.
Yes, let me bring up the US chart, okay? So US over here, and I'm going to have this new share, and then we can talk about US, okay, here. But it's not just that. You were right, earthquake, Jupiter-Uranus going to bring in a lot of tornadoes and a lot of earthquake, but the earthquake going to go around, Turkey gonna be again in trouble. This iron Turkey, it's, it is also because I had a lot of lucid dreaming about that, and I just know right before it happened, but it's still going to happen. And it's going to happen Hawaii and those, like the Andrew line over there. So definitely, okay, that it's going to be. And
there are going to be some nations that are ruled by Uranus, nations that are ruled by Taurus that may be affected. There's the eclipse that's happening over the Americas. So while that eclipse is happening and Jupiter and Uranus are coming together, it could be potentially lands that have that energy that are within that radius as well. So there are ways to look at and maybe identify which countries might be affected by,
Israel definitely affected.
mm,
And it's on the Middle East, and not just earthquake over there, but because of
but bombs, right?
yes, nuclear bombs, and
Sense.
because of him, I'm going to bring up his chart as well. It's
Who's
gonna be
him?
affected.
Who's
Yes,
him? Because of who?
Netanyahu,
Yeah.
and yeah, yes. So here is actually the US over here, right? And we're going to have in the sixth house and Taurus, like Uranus and Jupiter, conjunction for us in the US because they are US Sagittarius rising as well. But then let's see, because and here is the Pluto return in the second house, but that's not what I saw that. What made me to think it's going to collapse? We had something with Pisces. Oh, the Pisces is borders also, but it is immigration.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
That's another issue. Okay, Biden
Yeah.
administration, Saturn, Mars, bringing in people who are fighters or who can
This
actually
is
do
bad because
terror attacks.
this is
Very bad.
exactly square.
Yes, yes. Look at that squaring with the Uranus over here. With its actually this is the US Uranus. Look at this
But it's
square
squaring the
here.
ascendant of the country. That's
Yes.
what I'm looking at. At 12
Oh, and it
degrees.
squares. Oh, that is a T square then. It's even worse.
That's even worse. It's not good at all. This immigration issue is
And that's
not
the
going away.
border as well, because
Yeah,
Pisces ruled by Neptune and Jupiter, but Neptune is the borders.
yeah. So the
Neptune
borders.
doesn't want borders, Uranus want new borders. So here, this T
So
square
these
here,
American states that are near borders,
yes,
Texas is near the Gulf of Mexico. So I was
yes.
going to say the states that are near water in America might have immigration problems, right?
Yes,
So
Florida, yeah, if DeSantis is here, no, but yes, they can have. And actually, that's what I see some
well, I
who
saw a
text
video
us.
the other day of like a boat that went, I don't know if it was real or not, you know how it is. The boat just pulled up on some California beach, full of migrants.
Oh my God.
And the comments were like, this used to happen at night. Now it's happening broad day,
Yeah.
So
Well,
there we
I
go.
was
Prime example of what.
walking once in Key West. I'm a big walker, and then I saw a tiny dingy one day with
Mm.
like 17 people of Cubans. So actually, I was the eyewitness of that
Wow.
kind of situation. It was heartbreaking because they lost people. They were, oh my God. I ran to the restaurant, bought a lot of
Oh,
water and
so
gave
12
them.
house Pisces losses, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Going away. People die trying to get here.
Yes.
It's all in
In water,
all in the
on
energy.
water.
In water. It's all in the symbolism.
Astrology is amazing in water, actually drowning in water. A lot of sheep. Saturn is a sheep.
Yeah.
Fire on ships.
Fire on ships. Yeah.
Or it could be actually fire also. What is, I was like, Pisces is
Ship-related accidents.
pirates.
Pirates too,
Then it's
yeah.
gonna be a lot of pirate attacks. Saturn also submarine. I
The
would think
bridge, the submarine.
they're going to actually have some kind of fight. Russians has a humongous submarine and nobody knows where is it. You know that. They
Mm.
cannot locate the Russian submarine.
Mm.
So it could be actually full with some detonation, whatever it is.
Mhm.
And Putin just said, all right, we
Mm.
are ready for a nuclear
Mm.
war.
Mm.
Jupiter, Uranus, there
Mhm.
you go.
Mm.
So that is not for the fainted heart for sure. But yes, that is the immigration policies and this T square. And actually this terrible things is the Mars and Saturn, immigration, underprivileged people and coming in. taking welfare.
And this T-square is on the cusps too. God, this
Yep.
is
So the US gonna have like
this
4
will
more
occur.
years. Synodic cycle, 2.5 years, because Mars gonna go to retrograde over here, and ninth house anything to do with diplomacy, and it's coming back to Cancer at one point, and it's gonna go direct 2024 February 24th on my birthday, on my 50th birthday. Mars gonna go direct, and in the 8th house of US, actually I do have exactly the same rising. Yes, so 8th house of US. So it is something to do with tax, debt, anything to do with, like housing the homeless is trying to get shelter, but there is no shelter. Homelessness, it's going to rise, homelessness, the Mars retrograde over here. So there is major, major problem for the US. Doesn't matter who is elected, it's just gonna bring in a lot of issues right now. And the bank system of the US, Cancer, over here, the bank system with Mars retrograde, the sun is here, Jupiter is exalted, and Venus doesn't like to be in the 8th house, but okay in Cancer. So the bank system going to get structurized, or like it could be actually cyber attacks. Mars retrograde in Cancer in 8th house, it could be from home. People could attack the bank accounts of or hospitals accounts, because that's gonna happen. Hospital records, they're going to steal, and your social security, anything through hospital records, or insurance through or insurances. So we have to be careful, very careful with that. So
well,
yes,
our digital IDs are already waiting for us. We just need an event to make us all agree that, okay, we'll use it now. So that's on the table.
It's on the table. Okay, let's go and let's see Israel, Netanyahu, Russia, and Putin. Which one do you want to see first, very quickly?
Let's go with Netanyahu.
So here we shared him. And they are really, really hate this guy, because they already wanted that change right before the attack happened, right? The terror attack happened by Hamas. And obviously he kept his power through this. And he going to be a political refugee somewhere, or maybe he going to be actually get, and he has Sagittarius rising too. Geez, all right. Okay, let's see what's happening over here. So you see, he does have actually 11th house stellium, and he does have the eclipse happened, the lunar eclipse on his Mercury. And right now the eclipse going to happen in his 5th house, the 8th house eclipse. And it's going
it's funny, now that the chart is oriented this way, I can see that Israel has been having Pluto move back and forth over it.
Yes.
Just because I've seen so many satirizing charts. I'm like, oh, look at that.
Yeah. And you see, that is Netanyahu's chart, but he has the asteroid Israel in his 2nd house. Yes, but Pluto is going back and forth. So Israel, yes, the borders of Israel are changing also. And unfortunately for this genocide, actually in 4 years, they're going to be under a lot of trouble. The state of Israel gonna be under a lot of trouble. But look, the land, this is the motherland, right? For him, Saturn, Mars over here, conflict, issues. And look, it is like Neptune, Venus is exalted, especially 27 degrees today with Neptune, but Neptune is the liars and enemies as well, hidden enemies and gossip liars, the trickers as well. Not like Mercury, but liars. And it is going against his midheaven. You see, he has actually America, Saturn, and midheaven conjuncting on his 10th house. So he got a lot of support previously from America. But right now, it's squaring everything. And actually, it's squaring with his ascendant. let me see, does it going to start any? Yes, ascendant is squaring with Mars and Saturn, and it's creating a T-square with the midheaven. You see? So it's creating a T-square. So he going to lose support from America. And
It's creating a T-square with America in the chart,
yes,
not the midheaven. But yeah, so yeah, he's going to lose support. I see what, yeah.
he's
Yeah.
going to lose support from America. Yes, because here it is. So that's it. It's gonna lose support. Plus, if you see that Saturn Mars 12 degrees, he has oh, that is actually a trine. So he's trying to have power out of the death of the own people. That's what it is. So he trying to pull his power, right, in Cancer, Uranus, the death of his own people. That's what it is. Yeah. Yes, but he has, so the eclipse, and look at the Pisces eclipse going to happen in 25 degrees here in the, September. By September, he is, I think by September, Netanyahu is out. He's not going to be anymore because the eclipse happening in the fourth house, and that his land, that his people, and it's going to oppose his Saturn and MC. So, and because it's in Pisces, he most likely going to be imprisoned.
Exile.
He's gonna be for war criminal and imprisoned. Plus, it is, yes, it is squaring with this first house stellium over here. Okay. Let's see quickly Israel. All right, so Israel has a Libra rising, okay? And the eclipse is happening and happened actually on the ascendant of Israel. And that was a lunar eclipse. Lunar eclipse is an unexpected fated event which is turning out to be negative. The solar eclipse usually is positive unless if it is malefic planets involved over here, so obvious. Right? What's gonna happen? And the lunar
on main level, could we say that the moon, the lunar eclipse, might be more related to the people, where the solar eclipse might be more related to the rulership? Could we say that?
Yes, because the solar eclipse is the new moon, which is the sun over there merged with the sun. Sun is the king, the ruler, and lunar eclipse all about the emotions and the moon. Moon represented the mundane, representing the public, the people itself. So yes, it is correct. And it's, yeah, and thank you so much. I forgot to mention that, but it's obvious. And you know, Chiron and the eclipse going to be in his seventh house, Chiron losing alliances. So in the seventh house, he is losing alliances. Israel, he not going to be supported anymore, fortunately. And the lunar eclipse happened on the ascendant as well. And you know what's gonna trigger? No, actually Uranus not going to trigger it because it's gonna trigger the Scorpionic things here, Chiron. Oh, Uranus, look at that. Uranus and Jupiter. Oh, on the sun. The sun is 23 degrees in 8 house of transformation, death. Death of a king, a leader. So he might not die, but he is out. And people right now actually rebelling against him. Israel is protesting all over in Tel Aviv and everywhere and protesting against him. So, and you know, that is close to our goal. It's 2 degrees away. So, you know, beheaded king, it could be, not necessarily, but you know, their king could
so
go
Uranus can liberate, right?
liberate the people.
Uranus can be malefic at times, many times.
Many times.
Can be shocking. And so with the rulership here and this conjunction, we could see just a sudden, he's out. He's gone. Just
sudden
like that.
change, gone. And look at that. It's Israel. Saturn also authority figure in Leo, right? So Saturn, Pluto, someone who is in power, and then it is like squaring with the sun where the Uranus and Jupiter conjunction going to happen for Israel, and the eclipse happened over there. So Israel going a lot of protest, it's going to go under transition and transformation, and it's gonna be quite devastating. If people don't wake up, and if people are capable to look at this genocide and be okay with it, and we are not saying the October 7th situation was okay, absolutely not okay, anything to take other people's life, but open your eyes, because this is a genocide, and this is terrible, because he doesn't even let aids for the people, like water or simple things. And this is just terrible. So that is Israel. Israel gonna suffer because of his leader. But if somebody really wants this guy to be gone, and they are Israeli or have connection, that is a good news, guys. That's for my friends and clients who waiting for this. This is gonna happen because of Uranus, Jupiter conjunct on Israel Sun. The eclipse happened on the ascendant, and it's gonna Saturn, authority figure, going to be, and 11th house itself is justice. So it's going to be justified. Okay, let's go to Putin and Russia, and let's see. All right. So this is Russia's chart. And look at that. Russia has Ukraine, the asteroid of Ukraine, in the 8th house of Russia. Saturn, Mars is going to kill military leaders. Okay, Russia already started Putin already started
Kill
to
military leaders of which side, to be specific?
Ukraine, because it is happening on Ukraine. Look, the asteroid of Ukraine is gonna kill very famous or very well-known military leaders over there. Look at that, for example, Jupiter and Uranus in the 10th house, unexpected event in leadership, or the status of Russia. So it could mean the status of Russia, and look at that, they have Capricorn.
So, and we also talked about the expansion of borders.
Yes. There you go. Unfortunately, but that's what's going to happen, because look, Russia has a lot of Capricornian energy over here. Look at that. So it's going to trine, so they're going to be okay. The status of Russia going to change, but the borders are changing. It's a winning position here for them. Uranus, trine Uranus, they're going to create some kind of nuclear event, even if it's accidental, because Uranus is accidental, right? Or it could be intentional, but there will be something, and borders are changing. And Uranus in the 6th house of Russia, affecting, unfortunately, the Russian people, because that's the health of the people in Russia. Because of some kind of radiation, Uranus is radiation.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you saw the solar flare, which is creating the northern light, I'm obsessed with that. And right now, Hungary had a lot of northern light. I was like, what? No way. So Russians actually initiated and interfered with the sphere, and they created some kind of situation over there, which is creating more solar flares. So it could have been seen from Hungary and from Serbia and everywhere down there, which is
So to make sure I'm hearing you correctly, Russia's doing things to trigger solar flares?
Yes.
Interesting.
And they did back in November. My mom was here, and it was all over in the news. And then we learned about that was Russia, but it was a lot of radiation. So unfortunately, Uranus is radiation, X-ray, right? Radiation. So it could affect us if they are keep fucking around with this. This is gonna be terrible. Because of this, Uranus, Jupiter could bring in a lot of cancer from cell phones. And there is no regulation of this 5G Taurus. The last regulation was in 1982. So come on, we are not protected. So yes, this Uranus Jupiter could be radiation also.
Well, that's
But
the
that
thing
is
too, with the
Russia.
beginning of this 14-year cycle and AI, and then Jupiter is going to move into Gemini. We're in the air age of
Yes.
Aquarius. The amount of biotechnology we are already inundated with our food and the air we breathe and the
Yeah.
water we drink, we're just getting started. And so the implications of that and what that will do to our nervous systems, we will find out at the end of the 14-year period, unfortunately, because
Yeah.
have to go through it to know, I'll be
However,
avoid as much as
uh,
I can, but however,
yeah,
what? Mhm.
I'm sorry. However, Uranus and the Jupiter conjunction in Taurus, it's giving you an amazing opportunity to have a lot of garden on the very high top of the high building. So
Yes,
people
yes,
going to go back to a traditional, maybe technological and traditional, a lot of hydroponic garden and
yes.
doing your own food. So actually, it's going to be innovative, but a lot of amazing stuff as well with this. I really hope so.
Well,
I
there
really
is,
hope
and
so.
I'm actually talking to a CEO that's pioneering some NASA technology behind that. There may be a day where I introduce him to the channel. We'll see.
Yeah.
But what I wanted to say was with Uranus and what you're talking about, Newton, radiation is if you remember the last 2 years, all of a sudden the tide has been, if you have a gas stove, you're an evil POS, right?
Yeah.
Go back to burning wood, we have energy issues. Don't use energy. And that's a big part of why we're having financial issues, because the countries that have a lot of energy don't want to share with Europe and the US anymore because, well, they're at war with each other, and US is,
Yeah.
they stole Russia's bank account. So all this conflict is going to trigger more energy scarcity. So that
Huh.
makes things like what we do or the sources we use for energy, there's a huge question mark on those things. And America is going on and on about how it's going to be green and electronic and this and that, even though there's so much non-green things that go into wind energy or these electric batteries, which is a separate conversation in itself. What I'm saying here is the world, as a result of this conjunction, whether it's America or other countries, will start to look at nuclear energy, which means they will start to look at uranium, which is an investment tip, especially if you've
Yes.
there's my reports before, that. So that is
Yeah.
inevitable, and we're explaining why now. You're getting a geo macro viewpoint as to what Jupiter and Uranus will do. That could also be why we are seeing radiation issues, in which I hope we don't experience some nuclear catastrophe, but humanity will be looking more at those energy sources, including also technology that can solve our energy issues and our food issues, because food is energy. So all of this is
Yeah.
intertwined. There will be successes, and there will also be learning lessons.
Yeah, food is energy, and actually food is, in Taurus, actually, that's the second house, anything you put in your mouth, obviously. And with new technology, new innovation, absolutely. Uranium is a really good stock investment. But, I just checked recently, ChatGPT, Copilot, NVIDIA, that's all going to rise like crazy,
It has been,
crazy.
and it will continue to. Yes. Yep.
Bitcoin, and
Yep.
actually Pluto, when it's gonna go back also to
It's
Jupiter
in
in Bitcoin. Yeah,
everything technology
it's
up.
absolutely. So here is the Putin, and just let me mention also Charles, King Charles. Just by the end, I don't have his chart, but I have that in my phone. I have all of their chart in my phone, and there is a major change. As I said 2 years ago, he will begin. Okay, so here is Putin here. That is a ratified chart, not by me, but I totally believe he has Scorpio ascendant, and he does have Leo midheaven and Pluto, because he likes to be center of attention. He's the king. He's
Do you know who
like
rectified the chart? Do you know, or
I
you want to
don't
share?
know. I don't know. I found that on multiple platform,
Okay.
Astro.com, Astro Team, Astro Chart, everybody using this chart for
Okay.
Putin.
Okay.
Jessica Adams and Jessica Davidson, but Davidson is the one who I read a lot. She's phenomenal Australian woman, very, very lot of knowledge. And she also used this chart. So here it is.
Okay.
Putin, first of all, you see Ukraine and Midheaven and Pluto
Mhm.
conjunction in the 10th house,
Yeah.
squaring with Jupiter. He has a Jupiter return with Uranus. Come on.
Is
This,
trying his Mars a little, it's a little wide, but I'll take it.
yeah,
Oh, but it
yep,
is trying Ukraine. It is.
yep,
Yeah. Yeah.
yes. Actually, this one, no, it's squaring Ukraine.
No, it's squaring. No, you're right. No, no,
It's,
no. Wait,
it's
second.
squaring.
Did I
It's
not
a T
read?
square.
I'm looking at Mars to Ukraine. So
Oh, okay. Okay.
that
So
is going, he's going to get it. He's going to get
you're gonna
Ukraine.
get it. Yes, absolutely. So that's what I said. What I said, when I checked this, I was like, oh my God. I checked Ukraine
Mars is
chart.
how we go after our desires. He's going to grab Ukraine. Yeah.
He is, did you see the Tracker, Carson and Putin interview?
I did not, but it's in a watch later.
Go check it when you go walking, just listen him. Actually, Putin is talking about Hungary for 26 minutes
Oh.
at the very beginning. It was very interesting. And he says everything, because a lot of people doesn't know about history here. So that's why I don't even want to mention, watch the Tucker Carlson interview. However, I checked Tucker Carlson chart also. He's poking the bear, the polar bear. So unfortunately, with his articles and with his poking other people's, there is a danger in his chart really soon also, within 2 years. So he really, and maybe imprisoned in a country.
Of course he's made enemies. So yeah.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Imprisoned in a country where he's gonna go to do an interview and he's not coming back. But this is Putin.
Okay.
Yes, I saw that. So look at Putin. He is like, okay, the conjunction happening on Jupiter, that's his alliances, whatever. It's squaring midheaven, Ukraine, Pluto conjunction, Ukraine is downfall, right? And then look at that. And it is opposing Israel. And if you see the Tucker Carlson interview also, he's mentioning Israel as well. So, because of Ukraine lost a lot of benefits because Israel started the war. I mean, answered for the terror attack. I'm sorry, I have to correct myself. But, anyway, the war is there. So, yes, and look at that opposition over here and the T-square. So he doesn't support also Israel. And actually, he's taking also away from Israel a little bit, All right. So Putin is really powerful. Very, very powerful. If I see any kind of health issues, actually Chiron and the eclipse gonna happen in his 6th house. So actually, but the eclipse happened close to his sun. So he's going to be somehow either poisoned, but he's very, very scared of poison. Actually, Putin has like 5 tasters. He doesn't eat anything unless 5 of them taste his food. But the 12th house could mean some kind of, and the Libra eclipse happened over here, right? On Neptune. Neptune could be some kind of poison. Neptune is pharmaceutical, poison, drugs, anything. So yeah, Putin actually could have some kind of issue with his health. But because of Chiron conjunct with this eclipse, I would think he's not going to die from it. They're going to save his life. So there is some kind of health issue coming up. It could be some either Neptunian energy, which could be virus, very bad virus, right? Neptune rules viruses, or it could be poisoning, or it could be hospitalized, but the next half year, but he will come out positive out from that. And Ukraine, going to win.
Yeah.
I mean, what else can I say from, this is, I mean, you see the chart.
Yeah.
It is what it is. And it's said or not said, we're just translating over here. So here is the NATO,
Yeah, the
but
natal chart is it's an interesting chart.
it is an interesting chart, yes. First of all, it has a Virgo ascendant. Saturn is across Saturn and Mars opposition.
Mhm.
So a lot of people gonna leave NATO. A lot of countries not going to be part of NATO anymore.
Yeah.
That's
And
what's happening.
that really speaks to what's happening to the United States, because
Yes.
people are in NATO because of the United States. So
Yeah.
this is why astrology is useful and why we look at different charts to see what we can understand about the story as it unfolds from different angles.
Yeah, NATO is also, with that stellium in the eighth house in areas, the eclipse is happening over there in the eighth house. And, it's actually happening on malefic Mars, which is in rulership and also rules the eighth house. Mars is very, very powerful in this chart because of the NATO is against war, right? But whatever. So yes, that's happening over here. So, and we still have a lunar eclipse coming up here.
That's how
August.
duality consciousness works. You want to fight against war? Well, then you have to fight, and then you end up with a stellium in Aries in your eighth house.
Yeah.
All you do is fight.
So ironic, because it came, like they invented it actually to keep peace, and that is
peacekeepers.
Yeah.
Peace and democracy for all.
Peacekeepers with an Aries 8000 stellium. Yes.
Yep.
Oh my God, that is terrible. Whatever, it's very ironic. So that's NATO. And let me mention Charles just for a second. Charles was when the Queen died. It was on Mercury retrograde, and it was a void moon also. So Charles. Yes, Charles get into the leadership. And when did he had the coronation? I think he did that on purpose. The coronation happened on an eclipse, a lunar eclipse, and he's a Scorpio with a Taurus moon, just like Biden. I was like, oh my God, what did you do? You eclipse yourself when you get coronated right away. This is terrible. So Charles is going also. And
I mean, I look at body language. It's one of the things I like to observe, and it didn't really look like he wanted it didn't look like he wanted to, it looked like he wanted to carry on living his life. It looked like all of this kind of inconvenience.
Yeah, it was inconvenient for him. Yeah, I think so. Probably he has enough like already because of they didn't trust him. And from the beginning with this, and the Queen leaves. So let me see, King Charles astrology chart.
Kind of like, why can't my mommy just keep taking care of things?
Yes.
I was like, I want to go do something else.
Yeah, I want to do something. He was good with, talking, like with aviation probably. And no, that was the father Philip. But okay, so he has a Taurus midheaven, and the moon in 0 degree Taurus. So the eclipse happened on his moon in the 10th house, eclipsing out him from power. Done. Mars retrograde on his ascendant. And then it's going back to Cancer, don't forget. So December 5th, it's gonna start. So he's gonna be hospitalized by his cancer. He has a prostate cancer. So he's gonna be hospitalized by that. And it's like really, come on, the eclipse is over here, Charles, and he was get coronated on a lunar eclipse.
Where's Cancer in his chart?
12th house.
12th house?
Because he's a Leo ascendant. So for example, Saturn and Mars conjunction gonna happen.
Does he already have prostate cancer? Is that why you're saying that, or is
Yes. He had prostate cancer, but because Saturn and Mars going to conjunct in his 8th house of surgery.
So it's 8th house. Okay.
That's there. Plus, he has the Cancer sign in his 12th house, and because Mars retrograde gonna start out from Leo December 5th, but it's gonna go back and deep into Cancer in the 12th house. Then by that time, he going to get hospitalized again, and because of the eclipse happened on his coronation, which is like what the heck, like North Node Moon conjunction in the he's more like a public people to talk to people to get that human connection between people and him. It's not to become a king. He's not that type. So he's out also, and because of England has an election also, so that's why it's very important.
Interesting.
So oh my God, what's gonna happen? It's like so much social unrest. And we are a period 9 year, actually 12 years in Feng Shui and in Chinese astrology and Feng Shui, we enter period 9 with the Dragon New Year. And it's very fiery energy. It's not stable. So people who always seek for stability, the earth sign, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, they're gonna have issues. If you are not capable or mutable is great because mutable has the gypsy soul. I have a gypsy soul. So
the mutable, the changes that don't typically happen in the stable earth sign of Taurus are all being disrupted, and so it is the mutable signs that will be able to adjust, and the people that want to cling to stability that will struggle, just like when things are stable, and the people who want change struggle. It's just a different side of that polarity now.
Who cannot change, and because change is a must, like I love Louise Hay, and she always tells me in the meditation, I still listen to her, if you are an old oak tree, you're gonna break because you resist the change and the wind of change going to break you down. But if you are a willow tree, like you go back and forth, you are capable to bounce back. Or a palm tree, I live in Florida, they bouncing back, that's it. So be a palm tree, be a willow tree, and and try to learn AI and crypto because it's all part of life. That's it. It's done. You have to learn it. Otherwise, it's going to be a disaster. Yeah. So that's what I wanted to say. Thank you so much for listening. As I said, we have to find a silver lining because of it is going to be a very, very hard time and a challenging time. And as you said, new borders are coming. And indeed, because of we have Saturn, Mars, synodic cycle, so the borders, right, immigration laws. We do have Uranus, Jupiter conjunction in Taurus, which is going to rise new mountains or something out from the water because actually it's still sextiling with Saturn Mars. So it's 12 degrees. Okay, it's a little bit far. It's 10 degrees away, but it's still sextiling with, yes. So from the ocean, there is a lot of island going to rise new. We have to change. We have to co-move together and help each others and try to be compassionate and understanding, learn the new way because that's gonna be the way. The new way gonna be the way. So that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot we should or shouldn't do, and shoulds and shouldn'ts are what they will be. What I will say is actionable is what you guys can take from this and modify with your lives. So when Christina talks about being open to things like AI, being open to change and being flexible with borders, there are things that we've covered that are clearly beyond your control, right? You are swimming in a soup of energies that are moving and that have been moving long since before we are here, right? Putin, for example, got pulled into conflict where he was thrust into that position when, the Clintons and what was his name, Yeltsin, and there's stuff in the history that we don't know about, right? And so there are things that have been occurring. What's been going on with Israel in that land has been, I got shown something by a guy named Above Waters where that stuff went off, and there was a war that started 50 years ago to the day from that eclipse that October. So there are things that are they've been happening, and in many cases will continue to happen. So why are you here during this present moment? What information can you take from what Christina and I have shared with you to help guide you with what you're here to do and experience during the here and now in this present moment? Don't drive yourself crazy with what you've heard. April is a complicated month. Please stay safe. It's a time where, honestly, if you don't have to travel during the first 2 weeks, if you don't have to begin new things, if you don't have to, just lay low.
Uranus is airplane aviation.
Yeah.
New military drones. If you don't have to travel, obviously, you cannot live your life through astrology, but if you can change it.
Yes. None of this is to freak anybody out. It's to educate, to inform. Again, if it's entertainment to you, perfectly fine. Thanks for joining us, whether you're watching on your TV, phone, laptop, whatever. Share this with whoever you feel might benefit if they're open-minded enough to handle such a conversation. And I'll wrap by saying, I've gotten value out of this. That's good enough for me. But with Saturn and Neptune coming closer together, there will be an ending to certain forms of propaganda. But before we see that ending, we will see a massive increase as well. And so there is value in taking a look that, yes, it will have some bias because Christina and I are human, but as much as we look at, and I know her, I work with her, so her vibe is similar to me. I love what I do because I'm removing me or ego out of what I'm reading, and I'm just saying it. And she is similar. And so the value of the charts themselves is, while you're getting the propaganda and garbage out there, hopefully you are getting value from what these symbols and this ancient science has to tell us and share with us so we can prepare. View it as a seasonal weather report, if that makes sense. If you know winter's coming, I use this analogy a lot. Grab a coat. Winter will pass. Store some food up, right? Yeah. Use this information to benefit you, not to go crazy and lose your mind. With that, be well. One love to you all. Peace.
All right. Peace.